Namaskar. A warm welcome to World News, an Indian perspective on All India Radio. This is Manoj Singh Rana bringing glimpses of major developments of the day from across the globe. The headlines. India urges China to ensure that interests of downstream states are not harmed by any activities in upstream areas. Indian Navy Chief says Navy is prepared to handle challenges of COVID-19 and Chinese attempts to change LAC. United States bans cotton imports from Chinese organization citing forced labor. UNDP warns COVID-19 could push over 1 billion into extreme poverty. And in cricket, India to take on Australia and the first of three-match T20 series in Canberra tomorrow. India has urged Chinese authorities to ensure that the interests of downstream states are not harmed by any activities in upstream areas. India has consistently conveyed its views and concerns on China building a dam on the Brahmaputra to the Chinese authorities as a lower riparian state with considerable established user rights to the waters of the trans-border rivers. Replying to a media query, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said, government monitors all developments on the Brahmaputra River. He said the Chinese side has conveyed on several occasions that they are only undertaking run-of-the-river hydropower projects which do not involve diversion of the waters of the Brahmaputra.
The Chinese side has conveyed to us on several occasions that they are only undertaking run-of-the-river hydropower projects which do not involve diversion of the waters of the Brahmaputra. Various issues relating to transborder rivers are discussed with China under the ambit of the institutionalized expert-level mechanism which was established in 2006 as well as through diplomatic channels.
Meanwhile, China on Thursday tried to downplay its plan to build a large dam near the line of actual control LAC in the lower reaches of the Brahmaputra River in Tibet, saying there is no need for any anxiety over the project. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said that Beijing will continue to have good communication with lower riparian states. However, it avoided saying anything on when China will discuss the matter of building the proposed dam near LAC in Tibet with the lower riparian countries. New Delhi has today said that India and China continue to maintain communication through diplomatic and military channels with the objective of ensuring complete disengagement in all friction points along the LAC in the western sector and full restoration of peace and tranquility. Replying to a media query, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said the core issue remains that both India and China need to strictly follow the various bilateral agreements and protocols in their entirety on maintenance of peace and tranquility along the LAC in the border areas. Indian Navy Chief Admiral Karambir Singh has said that the Navy is prepared to handle the dual challenge of both COVID-19 and Chinese attempts to change the line of actual control LAC. Admiral Singh asserted that the Navy has an SOP in place to tackle the situation in case of an infringement by the Chinese research vessels. Admiral Singh informed that adding a push to the goal of self-sustainability, 45 out of 43 warships and submarines, including the indigenous aircraft carrier, will be built indigenously in the country for the Indian Navy. A top US Congress panel has said that the Chinese government had planned the June Galwan clash in eastern Ladakh. The just-released annual report of the United States-China Economic and Security Review Commission, USCC, said evidence suggests that Chinese government had planned the incident as Beijing ramped up a coercion campaign against its neighbors. It said satellite images depicted a large Chinese build-up in the Galwan Valley, including potentially 1,000 PLA soldiers a week before the skirmish. The report said Beijing ramped up its multi-year coercion campaign against its neighbors, provoking military or paramilitary standoffs with countries from Japan to India and much of Southeast Asia. The US has banned cotton imports from Xinjiang Production and Construction Corps, XPCC, a Chinese quasi-military organization. It accused the XPCC of using the forced labor of detained Uyghur Muslims. In response to this, Foreign Ministry spokeswoman Hua Chunying said the US practices undermine market principles and would deprive people of jobs. US President Donald Trump is expected to sign a bill that could delist some Chinese companies on US exchanges unless they adhere to US auditing standards, the White House said yesterday. If signed into law, the measure would give Chinese companies listed on US exchanges 3 years to comply with US auditing rules before being removed from US markets. Japan on Thursday expressed its grave concerns on the jailing of 3 Hong Kong activists. Chief Government spokesman Katsunobu Kato said that Japan has conveyed its worries to China over this situation. Hong Kong on Wednesday sentenced prominent democracy activist Joshua Wong to more than 13 months in prison over an unlawful anti-government rally in 2019. A 2-day special session of UN General Assembly begins today. The session will focus on the response to COVID-19 and the best path to recovery from the pandemic, which has claimed 1.5 million lives and shattered economies. This is All India Radio giving you the world news. India today said Pakistan has failed to respond on the core issues concerning the Kulbhushan Jadhav case, which would form the basis of an effective review and reconsideration as ordered by the International Court of Justice. Replying to a media query this evening, External Affairs Ministry spokesperson Anurag Srivastava said that Pakistan is trying to link the case of Kulbhushan Jadhav with another prisoner's case. Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has said that the country can't forget the atrocities committed by Pakistan in 1971 and the pain will remain forever. Referring to the incidents between 1948 and 1971, Prime Minister Hasina said that the volumes of the book Secret Documents of Intelligence Branch on Father of the Nation Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman contains lots of historical facts of this period. And now the coronavirus updates from around the world. The WHO has confirmed over 63.71 million COVID infections worldwide. The head of the US Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warned on Wednesday the COVID-19 pandemic will pose the country's grimmest health crisis yet over the next few months before vaccines become widely available. CDC Director Dr. Robert Redfield urged strict adherence to safety precautions. The Spanish government has said that it will allow a maximum of 10 people per household together for the Christmas and New Year holidays to avoid spreading the coronavirus. In India, COVID recovery rate reaches 94.11%. A UN Development Programme UNDP report published today said that severe long-term effects of the COVID-19 pandemic could push an additional 207 million people into extreme poverty, bringing the total to over 1 billion by 2030. The report says focused investments in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs could prevent the rise of extreme poverty. Achin Steiner, UNDP administrator, highlighted that the COVID-19 pandemic is a tipping point and the future would depend on decisions today. The study report was jointly prepared by the UNDP and the Pardee Center for International Futures at the University of Denver. Moving on to sports, in cricket, India will take on host Australia in the first of 3-match T20 series in Canberra tomorrow. The second and third T20 matches will take place in Sydney on the 6th and 8th of this month. Today is International Day of Persons with Disabilities. The theme this year is Building Back Better Towards a Disability-Inclusive, Accessible and Sustainable Post-COVID-19 World. In an exclusive interview to All India Radio, Mr. Sato Sasaki, Deputy Director, International Labour Organization, said the day marks the resolve of global community to respond to the challenges faced by people with disability. India is celebrating the 151st birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi. Before we end, let us listen to his favourite bhajan, Vaishnav Jan, by artists from Sri Lanka.
वैष्णव जन तो तेरे कहिए जे वीर पराई जाने रे पर दुख के उपकार करे तो ये मन अभिमान नाले रे.
And with that we end this bulletin. See you at the same time tomorrow with the next edition of World News.